Shalom. Welcome to, this is going to be a YouTube video I'm doing, and I've been kind of missing in action a little bit for the last couple of weeks because YouTube took down one of my videos again, gave me a strike, took down a whole bunch of other video content I had in there, and it's like, what the heck? And I couldn't post. So, which is fine. Hey, the nature of the beast. But what I do want to say is a couple things today. But, of course, all this culture, which is so crazy. Let's just talk pronouns. That's sort of what my title is today. What I want to share is, okay, let's talk pronouns, not crazy pronouns. Let's talk biblical pronouns. He, she. So I just want to give a perspective. So, and before I do that, I want to say that I have, really been developing a whole body of teaching. I have a membership channel, and I want to share it with you real quick and just show you a little bit, because I'm also having a seminar. There's going to be a really great seminar for women right now in Lynchburg, Virginia. And you could come in, you could live stream, especially all day Saturday, the teachings. And I think they're really going to be great. And I want to say that this is going to be for people, like I call Ephraim, Christians, who really want to begin to think Hebraically. Okay, there's sort of this, and it's the Ruach HaKodesh, it's the Holy Spirit, kind of like pinging on people like, maybe Jesus was a little more Jewish than I thought. Maybe I should check this out. And when you do, it will just be amazing. And I have spent years doing it. And I'm still, I consider myself a 100% Orthodox believer, but just with so much rich biblical understanding. So let me just do this really quick. Let me screen share something here. So I have this PowerPoint here. But what I want to say is all my teachings, I start out having PowerPoints, and I pulled out some of my favorites. And in this seminar, I'm going to start with some of the absolute basics of what it means to turn your mind, which technically, if you want to be technically accurate, biblically, according to the foundation that's been laid, this is the process that is going on of the hearts of the fathers turning to the children. As Malachi 2:4 says, this is where, this is not something that you're really making up. This is a worldwide phenomenon. It's been going on for many years. It has many levels of, harmonious understanding and still some pretty thorny things to work out theologically. But the point is, it has been happening in our day and age. So I encourage Christians, I encourage you, do not be afraid. Begin to think Hebraically. It will blow your mind. This is the Father did like he said. He saved the best wine for last. Now, there's concepts, there's buzzwords, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, trying to condense a whole big, huge concept into a couple of soundbite words. So we're not going to stop at the soundbite. But if you've ever heard of this concept of the two houses of Israel, foundational, groundbreaking, will totally put your Torah, your Bible, in order. Synagogue and ecclesia. This is a really interesting hidden nugget of how we got to the place of replacement theology where much of Christianity is in, which, unfortunately, that's one of those doctrines of demons. But we're not going down that rabbit trail in great length. I have huge videos, as I'm going to show you, that where you can see my progression biblically. And I challenge anyone seriously, when you start, okay, but otherwise, here, there's the firstborn. I don't think Christians is what we're talking about here. What is a firstborn? That means something. What the blessing is, what the birthright is, and what is Torah. Okay, if you understand how the Torah is, it's a bigger word than even than quote unquote, it's the Bible. I mean, it's the Bible. It's the Old Testament, the New Testament. But when you say it with Torah, when you say it like that with a little broader understanding, you've just climbed so many steps up the ladder, Jacob's ladder. And then what is the word? What is the word? Is it a King James translation? Is that the word? Or could it possibly be the DNA of creation, the Hebrew letters? It's fascinating. And if you'll just come with me, let me let's see here. Let me go to another. Okay, this is the beginning. Well, this is the top of my new link tree. Okay, my website, I'm putting everything on my website on this format. It seems to work really great because in this format, if you want to just come in and just find tons of free information, you can do it here, or the paid subscription is here. So every week, the latest teachings that I've done every week are at the top. You can, but this is one I want to show you. You can register on here. I don't know where it went. That wasn't it. You can register on here for the Elect Life Seminar, April 21 to 23. You can come in, and I encourage people on 22, April 2nd. That's Saturday. If you want to take a day and spend it with us, the women of the Elect Life, in some really in-depth, easy to understand, entry-level understandings into thinking Hebraically. Yeshua was a master teacher. He was a rabbi teacher. So we got to understand what he knew, what was his teaching basis, okay? And then we can really begin to see and think much more Hebraically. But all of those being said, let me show one more. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about today a little bit. Actually, what I did want to say for this, if you're interested in seeing this link tree, and let me just, because I don't think I said everything I wanted to, hold on. Okay, you can join the teaching ministry, the membership for $25 a month, or you could do $50, but you can do 25. You get all the teachings. But at this point, I'm at week 69. You can see there is visuals, there are charts, there are so many study guides that go with this. There is a whole prayer and meditation component to this, where it's not just a lot of dry knowledge. There's actually a fellowship of women that you can become part of. So there's a lot of pluses to this. So I just want to say, check that out. It's Linktree. It's linktr.ee /the elect life. So that's gonna, if you can find that, and I'll post it, on this, and you can avail yourself of it. And of course, at the very bottom, contact Brenda. She would email, phone number, whatever. Have a talk with somebody who's been around the Women in the Elect Life for a long time. Ask your questions and come join us on the journey. So that all being said, now let's go to this next slide I have. Okay, so let's talk pronouns. Wow. We're just going to read these two things because, see, this is why we get ourselves in trouble with the world, so to speak, in terms of theologically trying to defend some of our positions, which are perfectly valid. God said them. These are positions that, this is God's plan, okay? But we don't really have enough of an answer, okay? This stuff is very deep. And it is allegorical, and it's packed with understanding. And if you're trying to give a kindergarten answer to somebody who's going to college, on world religions, and you give a little kid, they're just not going to listen to you. They're just going to, oh my gosh, okay, we must have depth. We must be able to come to the word of God with breadth, width, depth, and height, which is a way of saying the whole thing. So that a mind like, what do they call them? Mensa, somebody with a Mensa mind, a genius mind. You can talk to them at their level with some part of the word, or you can talk it to a child. It's amazing. So let me read these now. These are quotes that I didn't write, but I quickly took them off of some of I keep folders of different things that the sages say that just are, to my mind, brilliant. So it says, we should avoid interpreting the allegorical study of the Torah, of the Bible, as related to males and females in this word, okay? I meant to say, if this isn't right, we should avoid interpreting in fundamentally what is meant to be an allegorical study as relates to males and females in this world, in the Torah. The process of creation, and this is what people don't understand, Okay, so we're going to go all the way back to the beginning and who created these pronouns anyways. All right, proof positive. The process of creation requires a male that is a channel of light and a female that is the aspect of a vessel. Now, fundamentally, according to our Bible, what we're talking about here is he created them, the whole process of creation as described in the first chapter of Genesis. Who? Yahweh Elohim. In the Hebrew, look it up. This is the creator God. Nobody gets a higher rank than this. Yahweh Elohim, he created them male and female. And even the he is a word with levels of meaning that incorporates Abba, the father, Abba, which is, if you understand your Hebrew, that's Aleph and Bet. That's the female and the male together. You know, God is one. This is what it's always trying to tell us. But he created them and he separated them out initially, male and female. But what is that saying? We're not talking about gender. It says we're not talking about people like me. This isn't what he was doing. He was making an energy, because remember, everything's energy. I didn't say that. Who said? Tesla said that. Okay, but you know what? The Bible said that thousands of years ago. That's always been saying. It calls it fire. We call it energy. Get your pronouns straight, or get your nouns straight. Okay. But this process of creation, he did it, and it isn't a torus. It is an energy flow. It requires the male that is a channel of light that moves. It's the forward direction. It's the energy that is going from one place to another. That's male, okay? And a female is the aspect of a vessel, is some kind of a container or an energy field or plane like the earth that can receive that energy. It's an X and an O. It's an open system and a closed system. It's energy moving and it's energy in repose. And this is the way it is. You can't get more scientific. Everybody agrees on this. Okay. So the Torah tells us he created the male and female. So our pronouns, let me tell you what, people, they have nothing to do with what, but let me tell you if you're male energy, you're male energy. I'm sorry. If you're female energy, you're female energy. As it says in Job, let me just give you this. Job 42, this is the whole point. He says, let him who argue with God give an answer. Our answers today, these are not answers that people are promoting for people who think they have a problem in this area, okay? This is so of a crazed mind, an unsound mind, thinking that is like, that you think you're a God and you can do something that you really can't do. And you certainly can't do it well. Now he created, so Job 4:20 says, let him who argues with God give an answer. Okay. There really isn't one. And would you condemn me to justify yourself? If your mind is to the point where you are contemplating in the process of done some of this, this transitioning, this is very serious because you are breaking or you are coming against one of the foundational bonds. And I'm talking chemical, I'm talking atom bonds, that God has made. He put this male energy, and so it works all the way down and everything. And that's why there's an attraction. It's a magnetic thing because that's called sexual reproduction. That's the way that works. That male and within there's a whole process of asexual and oh my gosh, cross-sectional, or where it's in the same plant, let's say, or it comes from two different entities. Either way, either process is all taken care of. It has to be male or it has to be female. You cannot interrupt this energy flow that creates. All right. Now, another way on the flip side, which is Torah is telling us, is they represent this male and female elements are also, while they're the good parts of God, in a sense that how he keeps the whole thing humming along is these interactions, between male and female. We're not on a literal level. We're talking about energy. All right. Open and closed systems, X's and O's, information. All right. But there's also a flip side. There is an other side. There is what they are called. We would call it, the dark side, really. The male aspect of the klippa is a Hebrew word for, let's say, the dark side. The male aspect of the dark side is the active element. Okay. Same thing as it's moving. It's active. Okay. Forcibly dispersing its spiritually impure seed abroad. If that's thoughts, take it all the way down, people. Emotionally, just really gross thoughts, gross emotions, and then actual gross behavior, however you want to do it. The female element is that which entices sparks of holiness, and that's what we are, individual souls, individually or collectively. We're sparks of holiness into the shells of impurity, so that they become trapped within the klippa or within the dark side. I mean, these things, this is what the Torah is telling us. This is something that is an archetype, an understanding. This is what wisdom is. You can take that and you can apply it like all the way, like up or down, in terms of, something in the physical world, something in the world of the mind. Okay. Now, what I did want to share on that, because what I want to say now is, let's see, first of all, let me do this, stop share. Okay, back. All right, there's a couple other things that, because see, this is important. For number one, this is why the Torah, especially the prophets, have said there's going to be such a rebellion in the last days. Because, it's one thing it's such at a deep level now, where the bonds, the glue that has held us together on so many levels, all right, is being broken. Whether you look at them between cultures, between nations, between people groups, between tribes, tongues, all of that, politically, all of this, but even in our bodies, there's such a disconnect, this whole concept of inflammation, which is just a huge dark side plague that is affecting so many people today. Okay, what I'm saying, however you apply it, we have this principle, okay, of male and female. Now, this is what I need to explain, whether getting the pronouns straight, because he has a female principle to himself. Now, the female principle is he made them male and female. Okay, that's its first understanding, but the spirit of Elohim was even in the earlier verses in Genesis when you bring this thing down. So there is this element of Yah separating himself, it's called dualism, into this whole kind of dark, night and day, light and dark, male and female. It just kind of goes on and on, sun and moon, you got all these. And these are all levels, words that are allegorically giving you bits of understanding to apply to understand the larger truth of what's going on in what they call, but it's not a bad term, the metaphysical, the spiritual elements of ourselves. Our minds, we gotta have agreed upon symbols or words that are expressing the same thing in our minds. Or for our thoughts. This is why, and we do it today too. Trying to talk to a Hebrew philosopher and a Greek philosopher, and you get a Chinese philosopher, and they really all have different words for what ultimately is sort of the same family. Okay. Now, I tend to think, just as a disclaimer, I do believe that the Hebraic understanding is the one that is the cleanest and straight from God. Okay, I do believe that. And I have reasons for it. But either way, we're just trying to talk about the pronouns, because see, this is what's important. The female, this female principle has so many names, not only in the Torah, but even in ancient literature. Okay, there is a female element. We're the only ones who've scrubbed it out. Okay, and we've done an even worse injustice. And we've just done a worse injustice because we have tried to sell to the world an archetype. Well, this could get me in a lot of trouble. I'm not going to go there. Enough trouble. All right. Lady Wisdom, Proverbs all over it. All right. Mother Earth. This is the mother. The mother is the one who receives. The female receives the seed, okay, and brings forth fruit. This works on all levels, people, okay? But this is where Mother Earth, it isn't bad. It's just that all physicality is coming through this process. Now, this is what gets interesting Hebraically, and many Christians do just have a disconnect here. We don't really understand this part, or we think that it just was sort of made up and sort of surfaced all of a sudden at the time of Jesus. The female, the bride. What is this female? Where did this bride concept come from? All right. It's a very ancient Hebraic way of understanding the female principle. Okay. So not only do you have Lady Wisdom, you have Mother Earth. Bina is the actual Hebrew word, and its Hebrew transliteration for understanding, which is exactly what we're talking about. All right. In the three, get wisdom, it says, get knowledge and get understanding, and it refers to getting understanding is a female, if you read in Proverbs, it's very clear there. They were not confused in the Old Testament why they were using feminine pronouns to explain this principle of female thought. Okay. And it doesn't have anything to do with the fact that women, and I did it purposely. You got to make the letters pink, or make the boy was blue. It's nothing to do with that. Okay. What it is it's the soul. The soul is referred to as the female. Okay. She is a soul. She. Okay. If you read even in the Psalms, you'll see David refers to the soul. She is our soul. The soul exists because it received from God. It received if you read it in the Hebrew, it's fascinating. In Genesis, when Yah breathed into Adam, there's God, the male force, then breathing into Adam. Adam becomes a living soul, a nefesh chai. These are such huge words because it's saying he has now a physical flesh, okay? Because who is now a physical soul, a female soul who has now put herself, or God put her into a body. And of course, Adam is the archetype. He is the father of all of us. His soul life is still what is getting passed down, a part of us. Because what they really don't understand is that the twofold nature of our physical being. All right. We have a nefesh soul, which is called an actual flesh, organs. They're really just made up of the very condensed chemical elements. Okay, all of them are heart, brain, all these things in the organ sense, in the physical. But there's like the gasoline you got to put in the vehicle, and that is called the soul. That's the juice that runs the thing. And we all have a separate juice, a personality. We have a certain little formula that made us. Very interesting. I could go on and on, but the point is those are bound together. Those are glued together. Your soul is in your body until the bonds of death separate them. See, we got to get it done. It's the atom. It's so, the mother is also known in the Torah's writings. This is what if you're a smart Torah sage, the mother represents the electron in the quantum world. It's Ima. It's the female element. That's it. I didn't make that up. It's all over the writings, and it's thousands of years old. Okay. Science is just catching up. That's what the prophecies were saying. Okay. Knowledge is going to increase. Finally, your knowledge is going to increase, and then people are going to go, oh my gosh, God, you really did. You're going to get the last word. Anyways, the father is the proton. Okay. Is Abba, is the male principle. So I don't care if you're on a molecular, a quantum level, or if you're, here on walking on the planet, mom and dad, or if you are in the heavenlies and you are just in this origination of energy, male or female, all right, being dispatched by God in great formulas and combinations. And oh my gosh. Okay. So that's important to understand. Now, I just want to make two last points, because one of the reasons I was trying to say that the world just gets to the point where they themselves throw their bonds asunder. Okay, we don't want any constraints. That's sort of a mindset that when you read the prophets on the mentality of people in the last days, they're going to be haters of God, lovers of self. I mean, this idea that there is no more fear of God. There is no connection to these upper level. Our minds or our souls connecting to God. It's all about our nefesh chai, which is the chai is the life of the flesh that that is in the blood, that is in the bone, that is in the body. So that soul, that female soul. So we're all male and female. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Because we all got a soul. If you're alive, if you're bumping your gums like me, you have a soul and it's alive. Praise Adonai. Okay. And she is with you. Now, when she departs, our souls, and this is what on a larger level, they go back to a place. If you're righteous, right, you will go to a place of rest, of repose, of sleep, where your soul will be held. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in there I'm not even going to touch on right now. But your body will decompose and go back to the elemental carbon and, things of the earth that it is made of. Okay, except for this little tiny microscopic thing called the luz bone. Oh my gosh, we wouldn't go there. But anyways, so this is what it is telling us, that the soul, this is where you get then. So all Israel, all these souls, these righteous souls that are getting, kind of collectively through the bound together and packed together. This is becoming the body of Christians, the body of Christ, but Christ doesn't mean Jesus. It's not his last name. It's his level of understanding. He understood that we are getting attached back to God. These sparks of holiness were being found and being brought back together. He's making this new heaven and this new earth, this new body and this new soul, and putting in his mind in it again. It's going to come down out of heaven. Believe me, people, if you're not coming down out of heaven with him, or if you're not going to be changed when the trump is sounding, and this is serious stuff. Anyways, my point being that why things are in such chaos with gender take especially is because let me put it, I guess there is a vibrational disturbance going on from both sides. The enemy is trying to rip people out of all of their bonds, okay, and throw them asunder and cause total chaos and lawlessness. People are doing it themselves because they're being influenced by the klippah. This whole mess is going on. But at the same time, the righteous are being drawn up heavenward and knit together with him. Okay, we're getting wired all back in, okay, to the thing anew. This is Jew, this is Gentile, this is anyone who accepts the yoke of Torah. And I know that, and I said that is like, it's a buzzword, trigger word can be, but it's not. All of God's instruction, he does everything we need to do, okay, to stay in the zone, to stay connected. He says, I'm the vine, you're the branch, stay connected, okay? It's not that crazy. So, but there's another thing that's so interesting, and this is where the science, because now with everything going on, and we are so microscopic today, we are like at a quantum level. We have a quantum leap. You talk to scientists, another one of these Y2K things. Well, we don't know what's going to happen when we have singular and a quantum leap. Well, I know what's going to happen. But either way, there's another, I want to just show you this in a symbolic way. Okay, so most people understand the cross, right? The cross of Christ. It's a symbol within Christianity, but oh my gosh, that's what you're understanding is it's a flat dimensional understanding you have. This thing, okay, first of all, if you lay it on a plane, let a flat plane, stretch it all out like it is, and you took an aerial view, you're going to see all the tribes of Israel in their encampment. There's 12 tribes. I don't think anybody's going to argue about that. 12 tribes. Now, it says in Revelation, again, the last book, the last revelation, is that there will be this kind of group of 144,000 before the throne that are going to be part of this, like I said, this whole new rewired Adam, second Adam, okay, in the whole totality thing. And this thing is gonna manifest, all right? But the point is 144 from a mathematical point of view, and I don't believe it's only 144,000 people that I know. That's a symbolic number. That's an allegorical number, but the number represents, it's a perfect square. See, what I'm trying to say on a deep level, you can understand me. That cross, we don't live in a flat world, people. Oh my God, let me just say this. The earth is not flat like you think. It's dimensional. We live in a minimum fourth dimension, fifth dimensional world. Okay, you take that thing, you fold it up, connect it all. You have a hypercube. You have Metatron's cube. You have what is known as, this is a geometric portrayal of all Israel, of the body of Messiah, of whatever you want to call it, Adam Caveman. Okay, so let's understand this stuff. It's all the same, but there's so many ways of portraying it in truth. But the number of, it's 144. See, let me give you the numbers. 3 times 4 equals 12. 4 times 3 equals 12. So that's so if you went 3, 6, 9, 12, or you could go 4, 8, 12. So you can get it that way. you can get it. And you take those 12 times 12, you come up with this 144. So that is known as a perfect square. It's a perfect cubing. The square root is 12. There's 12 tribes. The complete multiplication of the seed of everyone that he foreknew is in that number, that 144. It's such a beautiful in the gematria, and just what's the word? A mathematically perfect. And it's pi, actually, when you get down to it, because I think it's 144.3. Okay, so this depth and level of Torah, what I want to say bottom line is, let's get our pronouns straight. If you're a biblical person and you're not in the crazed world out there, come to Torah study. Learn to think Hebraically. Maybe check out some of the teachings on the link tree. Engage with us on the seminar, April 21 through 23. Let's get wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, because this is what says knowledge is power. You want to have power to overcome in the last days? Let's think Hebraically. So I hope this video makes it through. Shalom, shalom, and I will see you in the next recording.